The United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, commonly known as the United Kingdom, UK, or Britain, is a sovereign country in Europe, off the northwestern coast of the continental mainland. It comprises England, Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland. The United Kingdom includes the island of Great Britain, the northeastern part of the island of Ireland, and many smaller islands within the British Isles. Northern Ireland shares a land border with the Republic of Ireland. Otherwise, the United Kingdom is surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, the North Sea, the English Channel, the Celtic Sea and the Irish Sea. The total area of the United Kingdom is 242,495 square kilometers, 93,628 sq mi, with an estimated 2020 population of more than 67 million people. Forms of Christianity have dominated religious life in what is now the United Kingdom for over 1,400 years. Although a majority of citizens still identify with Christianity in many surveys, regular church attendance has fallen dramatically since the middle of the 20th century, while immigration and demographic change have contributed to the growth of other faiths, most notably Islam. This has led some commentators to variously describe the UK as a multi-faith, secularized, or post-Christian society. The United Kingdom is a constitutional monarchy and parliamentary democracy. The capital and largest city is London, a global city and financial center with a metropolitan area population of over 14 million. Other major cities include Birmingham, Manchester, Glasgow, Liverpool and Leeds. Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland had their own devolved governments, each with varying powers. The United Kingdom has evolved from a series of annexations, unions and separations of constituent countries over several hundred years. The Treaty of Union between the Kingdom of England, which included Wales, annexed in 1542, and the Kingdom of Scotland in 1707 formed the Kingdom of Great Britain. Its union in 1801 with the Kingdom of Ireland created the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Ireland. Most of Ireland seceded from the UK in 1922, leaving the present United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, which formally adopted that name in 1927. The nearby Isle of Man, Guernsey and Jersey are not part of the UK, being Crown dependencies with the British government responsible for defence and international representation. There are also 14 British overseas territories, the last remnants of the British Empire which, at its height in the 1920s, encompassed almost a quarter of the world's landmass and a third of the world's population, and was the largest empire in history. British influence can be observed in the language, culture and the legal and political systems of many of its former colonies. The United Kingdom has the world's sixth largest economy by nominal gross domestic product, GDP, and the eighth largest by purchasing power parity. It has a high-income economy and a very high Human Development Index rating, ranking 18th in the world. It also performs well in international rankings of education, healthcare, life expectancy and human development. The UK became the world's first industrialized country and was the world's foremost power during the 19th and early 20th centuries. Today the UK retains considerable economic, cultural, military, scientific, technological and political influence internationally. It is a recognized nuclear state and is ranked 4th globally in military expenditure. It has been a permanent member of the United Nations Security Council since its first session in 1946. The United Kingdom is a member of the Commonwealth of Nations, the Council of Europe, the G7, the Group of 10, the G20, the United Nations, NATO, AUKUS, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, OECD, Interpol, and the World Trade Organization, WTO. It was a member state of the European Communities, EC, and its successor, the European Union, EU, from its accession in 1973 until its withdrawal in 2020 following a referendum held in 2016. The United Kingdom is a unitary state under a constitutional monarchy. King Charles III is the monarch and head of state of the UK, as well as 14 other independent countries. These 15 countries are sometimes referred to as Commonwealth realms. The monarch has the right to be consulted, the right to encourage, and the right to warn. The Constitution of the United Kingdom is uncodified and consists mostly of a collection of disparate written sources, including statutes, judge-made case law and international treaties, together with constitutional conventions. The UK Parliament can carry out constitutional reform by passing Acts of Parliament, and thus has the political power to change or abolish almost any written or unwritten element of the Constitution. No sitting parliament can pass laws that future parliaments cannot change. The UK is a parliamentary democracy and a constitutional monarchy. The Parliament of the United Kingdom is sovereign. It is made up of the House of Commons, the House of Lords and the Crown. The main business of Parliament takes place in the two houses, but royal assent is required for a bill to become an Act of Parliament, law. The Prime Minister is the head of government in the United Kingdom. Nearly all Prime Ministers have served as First Lord of the Treasury, and all Prime Ministers have continuously served as First Lord of the Treasury since 1905. The British Armed Forces played a key role in establishing the British Empire as the dominant world power in the 18th, 19th and early 20th centuries. By emerging victorious from conflicts, Britain has often been able to decisively influence world events. Since the end of the British Empire, the UK has remained a major military power. Following the end of the Cold War, defense policy has a stated assumption that the most demanding operations will be undertaken as part of a coalition. His Majesty's Armed Forces consist of three professional service branches: the Royal Navy and Royal Marines, forming the Naval Service, the British Army and the Royal Air Force. The armed forces of the United Kingdom are managed by the Ministry of Defence and controlled by the Defence Council, chaired by the Secretary of State for Defence. The Commander-in-Chief is the British monarch, to whom members of the forces swear an oath of allegiance. The armed forces are charged with protecting the UK and its overseas territories, promoting the UK's global security interests and supporting international peacekeeping efforts. The UK has a partially regulated market economy. Based on market exchange rates, the UK is today the fifth largest economy in the world and the second largest in Europe after Germany. HM Treasury, led by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, is responsible for developing and executing the government's public finance policy and economic policy. The UK service sector makes up around 79% of GDP. London is one of the world's largest financial centers, ranking second in the world, behind New York City, in the Global Financial Centers Index in 2020. London also has the largest city GDP in Europe. Edinburgh ranks 17th in the world, and 6th in Western Europe in the Global Financial Centers Index in 2020. Tourism is very important to the British economy. With over 27 million tourists arriving in 2004, the United Kingdom is ranked as the 6th major tourist destination in the world, and London has the most international visitors of any city in the world. The UK's de facto official language is English. It is estimated that 95% of the UK's population are monolingual English speakers. 3 indigenous Celtic languages are spoken in the UK: Welsh, Irish and Scottish Gaelic. Cornish, which became extinct as a first language in the late 18th century, is subject to revival efforts and has a small group of second language speakers.